afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Money Matters with Carol. Today, I'm so excited. My guest is Shay Kent, and Shay will be sharing some information with us on why it's so important to be passionate about your business. And I know how important that is as a former accountant. I now switch over to money mindset and business coach because I found as an accountant, while I had loved that career previously, I evolved, I changed, and I no longer wanted to be doing the accounting work. So I had lost the passion for it and move on to becoming a coach. Now, Shay will be joining us. Yay, here's Shay. So Shay will be joining us in a few moments, and I'm so excited. Shay has such a varied background with some really interesting worked in before. So I'm so excited for her to join us. So there you are, Shay. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah, me too. And I just want to say thanks to everyone who's also joining us today. And Shay has got so much good info to share with us. But first, let me just give you some information on this beautiful lady. So, Shay, from working on major TV shows and motion pictures, to flipping houses, to running a home staging business, to now helping entrepreneurs go through their inner obstacles so they can build the business and life of their dreams. Shay Kent is always pushing forward. She's also a co-founder of Taking Inspired Action, coaching and training programs for dynamic leaders. Shay prides herself on helping others build their dreams and passion into profitable businesses. Yay, Shay! You've got to tell us before I get into finding out what's so important about being passionate about our businesses. Let us know a little bit more about some of these major TV shows and motion pictures that you were part of.
Oh, I'd love to. So I think the most fun I've ever had on a set was getting to pray with Oprah. I was working for Tyler Perry on two of his shows at one time, which let me tell you, that is a stretch, right? Because I don't know if you know this or not, but in the film business, we work 12+ hour days, 5, 6, 7 days a week. So it's kind of a lot that goes into it. And I got to meet Oprah and pray with her, and she gave cars away. It was so fun. I didn't win a car, unfortunately, but
There's always hope.
yes, there's always hope. So I've done scripted television, I've done feature films, and I've done reality TV in various capacities sort of around all of that. And then I decided, why am I working 70, 80 hours a week for somebody else with my income being capped when I could put in all that time and effort for my own business? And so that's what launched me into the entrepreneurial journey, if you will.
Yes, and I hear you on that. As an accountant myself, especially at year end, I hear you with those 12 hours, those 14 hours. I
Yeah.
was doing the same. From January onwards, February, March, until the auditors come in, it was just, what was weekend? I don't even know what weekend was, right? So I definitely hear you and I commend you as well. So today we are talking about why is it so important to be passionate about your business, and seeing that you've evolved and transitioned from all these different businesses. I would love to hear your comment on that, Shay.
Definitely. So one thing that I really learned firsthand was, if you're pursuing a business that you're not 1000% in love with, like, you're going to get burned out. You're going to start to get resentful. You're not really going to love life as much as you could, because this is exactly what I did. I pivoted from working in film and television into flipping houses, which then went into home staging. So on TV shows, I helped decorate the sets, which I love doing. But when I started my home staging business, like, there was a lot of work that went into that had nothing to do with actually decorating the space. So I found myself starting to become resentful around all of the time that was going into building a business. As I'm sure you know, like, there's a lot of networking and marketing and sales conversations and like all of the things. And the thing that I wasn't getting to do was just decorate the house. And so I thought, well, this is silly. If I'm not fully into helping decorate a house for sale, like, what am I doing? And where my passion really lies is helping other people obtain their goals. Because seeing somebody go from, you know, here to here, and you being able to be a part of that journey, like, that is the best, the absolute best feeling in the world. And that lights me on fire. So when you have that passion, you easily take all of the action steps towards getting it done. Yeah, I got to do marketing. Yeah, I got to have sales calls. I don't mind doing those things now, because I know at the end of the day, what I'm doing really matters, and people are going to be able to advance themselves, and I get to have a little bit of their win for myself too, which is a little selfish on my part with that one, but you got to have that. So that's why I feel that being so passionate about what you're doing really helps you propel yourself forward, so you can take all of the action steps needed behind everything. And I don't know, have you heard of this kind of a new buzz? It's not, maybe not new, but all over the internet, these gurus, these ClickFunnels guys are always like, just take massive action. Have you been hearing that?
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm like, no, take inspired action.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
It's so different. Just from the energies that you're coming from in order to do the things. Like, yeah, you're going to have to do a lot of stuff. Like, we get that. We're business owners. We have to do a lot of stuff.
Right.
However, if we're doing the inspired action steps, those things that our heartstrings like pull on to move us forward, we're going to have better results anyway, and we're not going to hate having to do it. We're also not going to waste time spinning our wheels on stuff that we don't really need to do just because we feel like we have to be busy just to be busy.
So true. And so many times we're I don't know about you, but I got this done. I got this done. But what did I really get done, and how productive was it for my business? Right. And
yep,
you're right. It's called busy time. Like, so for me, I hear you. And as much as I love marketing, getting those posts done and getting it onto different social media platforms, yes, it could be one of my weaknesses. And yes, that's work that I really and truly should be saying, okay, someone else who's got the expertise and who has the passion for that, they should be the ones doing it, because I could then take that time and put it towards what I love, which is coaching.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And there are those people who like love everything there is to love about social media and getting it out there and doing all of those things. And if that's not in your wheelhouse, or, you know, just like I would not ever do my own taxes. Like, I have no idea how to do that. Like, I'm gonna hire someone for that. Like, that's exactly what we can do in all of the pieces in our business. So then we can really dive into the stuff that lights us on fire. We have that passion, and we take those inspired actions, and we can get the stuff done. And you're going to propel yourself forward even faster than if you're trying to do everything all over the place by yourself.
You know, as you said that with the taxes, I just had a light bulb that went on, right? Because as an accountant, I know a lot of little different things that you may not know on how to decrease your taxes payable, things that you don't know that will, you know, add up your expenses and just decrease your taxes. Likewise, for me, my marketing, that marketing guru will know things that will light up my business, light up my posts that I don't even have a clue about. So doesn't it make sense, right?
It makes
let
like
experts do their thing and let us do our thing in our world.
Yes, right? Totally. I completely 100% agree with all of that.
That, you know, massive action. When I think massive action, I get overwhelmed right away. I'm thinking, oh my God, like, what is it so massive that I have to do? But inspirational, right? When I think inspirational, I'm thinking, oh, step by step, and something, you're right, I would draw on the heartstrings, and it all comes back to the language that we use.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, we talk about language in our coaching program as well, and I'll just give a little tidbit here. One of the words that I hate, like, people shouldn't use it. It just well, there's three actually, and I just said one of them. Should. Should is like one of the worst words that you can use, because when you say I should be doing this, you're really putting this blame on yourself. It's a very judgmental word. It's like, oh, I should be doing this. Now I'm just hitting myself in the head with a hammer. But if you switch that to I could be doing this. Now you've made this a choice and you have free will behind making your choice. And therefore you're not being judgmental or blaming yourself for something. You're consciously making a decision of I'm going to do this thing or I'm going to do this thing. And you get to take away that judgment and that, I call it shooting on yourself. Don't shoot on yourself. Because it just brings us down. So that's one of the first tweaks that we teach our clients inside of our programs is let's talk about language. Let's switch some words out and really just light up. Another one, this one I started using when I was working in the film industry. As I'm sure you can guess, there are massive egos in Hollywood, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah. And so having to deal with and navigate, like sometimes we were just so frustrated and so much pressure. And so when we started to feel that, I started to say, okay, I'm not going to say like I'm frustrated or I'm like so freaking out right now. I'm going to say I'm so excited. How are you doing? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And just making that one little word shift, even though it meant the same thing, it brought me back up again to where I really did kind of feel excited. Like the task wasn't that big anymore. So it's really those little baby words that you don't think do that huge of a difference, but they do.
They do. They do. I love that. And coming back to should, that is so true. I was on Clubhouse last week and one of the girls, she said to me, podcasts. She feel like she should do a podcast and that's one way to get audience and so forth. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I should. And I stopped myself right there and I go, no. As soon as I said I should do podcasts, I felt a weight on my shoulders because it's not my thing. I want to do podcasts. Maybe later on down the road I might, but not right now. And you're so right. It's just taking away that pressure and just giving yourself the option of maybe one day.
Yeah, exactly. And it just feels better.
Yeah, it takes away all the judgment of me thinking, yeah, I gotta do it and I'm not doing it. I'm blaming myself and beating myself up. So no, when
I don't really have time for that.
I have no time for this. So what are some inspired actions that any of our listeners listening today and me, what are some inspired actions that we can start taking?
Well, for one, this is where whenever I'm starting to feel down or I am beating myself up or something like that, my inspiration is looking back at the things that I really loved to do when I was younger. Those things that you would just get not stuck in, but you could fall into and like hours and hours and hours would pass you by and you'd be like, oh, wow, I really enjoyed all of my time. So being able to find that place in adult life to just kind of escape to so you can connect with yourself, because this is where the inspiration comes from, is when you're in connection, right? I feel like in today's world, we have so much head stuff. And those are those lists, those to-do lists that are like as long as a Costco receipt. And you're like, I just gotta get through this stuff. That's all head stuff. The inspiration comes from the heart. And so when we can calm the headspace down and be like, you know what, just check out for a little while. Let me get in and like paint something or color or something like that. Now I'm being able to tap into that heart again and pull myself back into alignment and then open myself up for the inspiration. So it's really about calming yourself, letting your thoughts kind of dissipate, giving yourself space to just be and relax, and then letting it flow.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. And it just reminded me, I had totally forgot as soon as you were talking about that, I used to do ceramics.
Oh.
We used to form it, like say for instance, I did this really nice Bible to put by my bedside, and it was just making sure it was formed, and then it went in and got blasted, and then we painted it, and I loved it. And it was over a couple of weeks. Totally forgot about that. I did that, and how much fun I had doing that. So
it's so great. That's so great. I've never done ceramics before. It's kind of always been like on my list of things. And I feel like for me, the idea of doing ceramics is like scary because I have no idea how to do it. So maybe I should fly to wherever you live up in Canada and come and be like, let's go do ceramics.
Now it's cold, but let's talk again in April. Oh, May. That's when I'll be hitting the streets again on Unionville Main Street because they have a beautiful paint store there as well. And I've been meaning to go. So I'm so glad you brought this up because you know what? It's also a good time to get together with your friends and just relax and flow and just be. I love that you've mentioned that.
Of
So
course.
I close up, Shay. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You would like people to take away from this interview?
You know, I would say the number one thing that I would love to instill in you people watching here tonight is being able to go within yourself, connect with that person, that heart person, and really go, what is the next steps that I could be taking to advance myself or my business in the direction that I want it to go? And then follow those little inspirations, because that, like, you know, deep down, you know what it is that you can be doing to propel yourself.
Yeah.
Just have to listen sometimes. So I
Yeah.
would say, you know, that's it. Learn to calm, listen, and then just follow it. Don't worry about if somebody doesn't understand what you're doing or whatever. Like, that's not for them. It's for you.
For you. So true. And I started using the 5 minute journal to help me with. I
Yeah,
love it.
that's a
Yeah.
good one.
And it brings out exactly everything, the little steps, the little that just draws you.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, thank you. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I love where this conversation has taken us. Be passionate about the things that you love. Give up the things that not your expertise to the experts. They will light up your work in ways that we don't even know about.
Heck yeah.
And I love that you brought in the language, and that's part of your program. So check her out because language is so important, how we talk to ourselves, and it's also reflected in how we talk to others as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
love it, Shay. This has been a beautiful conversation. So thank you for
Awesome.
being my guest today. And if you could just do me a favor, after I post this, if you could put your contact info in the comment sections, and if you could please go ahead and let us know how we can contact you now as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So you can find me at freedomandabundanceaccelerator.com. I'm also very much on Facebook all the time. It's just Shay Kent. And then obviously here with the taking underscore inspired underscore action is the Instagram handle.
Great. Well, thank you. And Shay, I would love to have you back in the next quarter so we can continue this conversation.
Love that. Love that. Thanks so much, girl.
Great, thank you. And I would like to thank everyone who has joined us. Please go ahead and follow Shay and get some more wonderful advice. Thank you all. Good night. Thanks,
Bye.
Shay.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.